Hello, namaste ji. We just lost Patel. He had a freak accident and he lost all his muscle, his organs, and but he's okay.
But he kept his money
he kept his money
because he's Patel.
because he's Patel.
Imagine there's a Patel watching. Cheap bastards. Okay. No, they are. They're cheap as you can get.
I didn't know that. I just thought they were good business people.
Yeah. They're like the Jews of Hinduism.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway. Okay. No, for real. Yo, Doc Testosterone here. This video is going to be amazing because we're going to talk about how you can solve different types of anxiety, how we've been able to solve our anxieties. Now, there are different types of anxieties out there, right? There's generalized anxiety, there's social anxiety, there's panic disorders, OCD, and there's other stuff too, right? Stuff that we haven't even figured out. Now, out of all of these anxieties, certain anxieties are very prevalent in society today, right? So, for example, social anxiety is there. A lot of people are loners. They become very confused when they're around people. So this is a big one in America as well as Western world. Not so much in the Eastern world because there's a sense of community there. But if you are suffering from any of these anxieties, any of these stresses caused by modern day society, this video is for you. We will teach you practical techniques that can be done quickly, fairly quickly, to solve these problems very fast and efficiently. And the more you do them, the more and more these problems will be solved. So, again, Doc Testosterone and Sir Symmetry here. We went on a retreat recently. Why don't you tell them about it?
So, guys, we had the honor and pleasure of being able to attend Elliot Holz's dynamic retreat, which was hosted by Ali and Krisana, yes. I didn't want to mess her name up. That's why I had to ask him. Ali and Krisana, and they were, of course, they lived in India and trained with the man, our uncle, Osho uncle. And
if you don't know Osho, you can check him out on YouTube.
Yes.
OSHO.
Osho.
So we're talking about Osho uncle here.
And also, just to throw this out there, his name is Rajneesh, and so if some people may know him as either one, but then you have Osho too. But anyway, so we were able to attend.
Even some people in our family don't know; they just know him as Osho because he's a celebrity in our family. But
yeah, exactly. And so, what we got from it was an amazing experience. It was literally a just fantastic experience, and we were able to, we literally didn't have our phones for 3 days.
Yeah. For the first time ever, no technology for 3 days. We were in a forest with little cabins. We were 50 of us. Yeah. And we were walking barefoot. We were doing meditation outside while people in their normal houses were like, what the hell is going on? A lot of crazy alien abduction, mental asylum type stuff.
Yep, we were doing a lot of crazy exercises, stuff that they're not even really crazy, but just stuff that stuff that we just haven't seen. That's not considered to be part of our normal society and culture.
Yeah,
and we were able to experience these things and help, literally fight off, or even help us with the own problems and issues that we have inside of us, and got so much out of it. Even this was the first time I took a shit without my phone in forever. I don't remember the last time I did that, but it literally taught me that a lot of these things that we have and we feel like we really need, we don't need them, and they're just external things. They're not really what's making us better and things like that. So, but what I got from it was an amazing experience. I was able to experience different emotions that I haven't experienced in a long time. I was able to forgive a lot of people. Yeah. That was a big thing for me. A lot of the things that I was holding on to, I was able to just let it go. So, because literally when you become anxious, you have tried something before, let's say talking to a person, and let's say you're afraid to go talk to someone or ask somebody a question. You have asked someone else or maybe the same person a question before and didn't get the response that you were hoping for, so that made you anxious. And so after you were able to And basically you hold that inside of you, inside your body, inside your muscles, inside your heart, your soul. And so when you go and talk to someone and you ask someone a question and you get anxious, it's because you're going back to that memory that you had when you tried to ask someone. And I was able to let that go.
Right.
I was able to forgive not only anyone or any time that happened. I was able to forgive myself. And I was able to have the courage. It gave me courage to be able to go and do things.
The brain in your balls.
Yeah, it was literally like I wasn't thinking with what we call our mind. I was able to think with my heart and my balls. With my body, it was with all these exercises. We didn't speak. Through our exercises, we didn't speak. We didn't use specific words. We were even told one of our exercises to speak gibberish, right? Just
That was great.
That was one of the exercises, and it was because words. People attach things to words. So we were literally any attachment that we had, that our mind had with anything, any association, they were just let go.
Yeah.
We were felt free, and it stayed with us.
Yeah.
Right. Of course we still doing it. We're still doing the dynamic meditation and feeling good. So it's just another continuum of what we learned there. So that was really that was the greatness that I was able to learn and achieve at the retreat.
Yeah.
So now, Doc.
Yeah, man. So one big change in my life that happened in these 3 days is, you just said it, being away from civilization, being away from my computer, being away from work. Luke in Australia, my business partner, he basically gave me the freedom to say, you know what, I will handle everything for the next 3 days. You do your thing, which is a real blessing. So thank you, Luke. And essentially leaving society, not being in your head and being in your body. And right before I entered the meditation retreat, I was reading the bioenergetics section of King, the book by Elliot Hulse and Chris Barnard. And that taught me things like, there's 3 types of brains. There's the head brain, there's the heart brain, and the balls brain. And obviously these are figurative. It's basically telling you that, when you're thinking with this head, it's more rational, logical, 1 + 1 = 2 thinking. So as I was reading the book, King, I learned about these 3 brains, and essentially this is more about, like I said, 1 + 1 = 2, but here is where compassion lives and emotions and caring for people, right? Like I'm listening a lot to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about how you need to care about people in order to actually get somewhere and benefit people. You have to care first before you actually do anything in terms of action or asking anything in return, right? So that's a big thing. And then the balls brain is about courage. It's about actually having the courage to use your compassion and not just be always in your head. So getting away from my head was basically the main thing. And just so you can imagine how it was, every morning at 6, we would go and do a 1-hour dynamic meditation. Now,
we had to be there at 6.
We had to be there at 6. Yeah, we had to wake up at 5:30. There were drums. They were
Yeah.
playing in the morning. So we would wake up. And all 50 of us were barefoot in the grass, outside darkness, right? Like I said, like an alien abduction type thing. And we were doing dynamic meditation. Now, what is dynamic meditation? Let's talk about these stages, right? Because that was the main thing why we went there for. It's Osho's dynamic meditation. The first 15 minutes is when you're breathing heavy, okay? So you're gonna see a clip here. Now, as I'm playing this here, you see that I'm breathing very heavy. I'm basically going like, and I'm doing that for 10 minutes straight. And that is known as charging. You're charging the body, you're charging your breath, and you're building something up inside through this heavy breathing through your nose. So again, it's right. So you imagine you have like snot all over your face, and all of us are going crazy for 10 minutes doing this with music. Now, important thing is to be grounded, to be barefoot, and essentially feeling your feet the whole time, so you're not jumping up and down. That was the first 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes is when you are going all out. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's like the screaming part.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you're just like I mean, just and then like you're just giving everything that you have. You're just going all out, screaming, shaking your body. Whatever you have inside of you, you're kind of just letting it out. You're not thinking of this. That's what's even like. You're not like, oh, he's screaming, so I'm gonna scream. No, whatever like pent up emotions.
Yeah,
That
and
you have,
remember, we have blindfolds and earplugs in, so we can't even hear someone. We can't even see anything.
yeah. So
for that 1 hour.
It's anything that's like really just built up inside you. It's just released basically. It's kind of like an orgasm, I guess you could say, just
Absolutely.
right? And then it just naturally comes out. You're not thinking. You're just moving your body. You're shaking your body, like screaming, and whatever noise just comes out. It could be a more of like a loud tone, or even like it's crazy, right? Like whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
insane.
It's an
Because it's
amazing
like
experience.
it's sadness, it's anger, it's
Yeah.
happiness, it's everything, every emotion you have, confusion. You're just kind of letting it out without thinking, and because you've charged up in the first 10 minutes with that thing, the next 10 minutes you're able to discharge
Yeah.
and kind of like let it all out. And one really important facet of dynamic meditation is something that Osho talked about, is you are opening up your sex centers, right? The first chakra, which is in your pelvis, like
pelvis,
the
yeah.
pelvic floor, you're opening that up, because when you're doing the heavy breathing in the first stage, you're moving your legs. You're in the
Yeah.
power position.
You're-
You're moving
yeah.
your legs, and your balls are jumping up and down, right? So that's what's happening. That's the first stage. Second stage is going all out with your emotions. Now we know we have anxiety. We have stress from our boss, from our friends, from our parents, right? They're telling us to get better grades, or they're telling us you get a better promotion, get a promotion, or make more money.
Do
or,
this job. You got to get this done. There's this deadline. There's like this job needs to be done. Oh, you got to do that, and it just piles up. It
You have to
piles up.
remember your girlfriend's birthday, and I
Yeah.
mean all this.
Other
cra-
people's birthday. Like
yeah, your brother's birthday, your
Yeah.
parents' birthday. Now, all of this stress, all this anxiety, you are able to let go during that second stage, which is such a gift from Osho, right? The Osho uncle has done really great for
Yeah,
us.
Osho uncle's done it a lot.
Now, the third stage is, again, 10 minutes. You have your hands up like this, and you're just going, hoo, 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 hoo. That's for 10 minutes, right? And again, as you're doing that, your balls are going up and down, and your genitals, you're like up and down, and you are, again, opening up that sex center, that first chakra. And again, as you're jumping, you're going to your heel, right? Up, down, for 10 minutes, and your hands are up, and it gets tiring. Man.
It gets very tired. You have to keep your hand. But then I remember Krasana was talking about, I think it was Krasana or Ali, I forget, but they were talking about that is when the challenge comes. When your hands get tired, you are literally, like, that's when your body is, that's when you're beating your fears, basically. So, like, the longer you can keep your hand, you're mentally training yourself to have more courage, to take the risk, because it's like, how much longer can you hold your hands up?
Right.
You know? So
Absolutely.
because they've been doing it for a very long time, and they were both able to keep their hands up. And
That was unbelievable.
yeah, most people, even myself, I was my hand. I was like, man, I couldn't do this, But then just keep getting them up, keep putting them up, and so
Yeah. So that's the third stage. The fourth stage is 15 minutes long. So far it's been 30 minutes. The fourth stage is 15 minutes long. It's complete silence. You can keep your hands up, or you can sit down and you're just doing nothing. It's literally stillness. You're in the moment. You're in the now. You're feeling your body, and all the craziness that has happened in the first three stages is now no more. How was that for you?
that was. I personally like that because it was like you're going right, but then you're able to breathe. That was more of the grounding, right? Because then now when you're grounding, it's more I don't want to necessarily say easier. It's more smoother. It makes more sense, right? At that point, it made more sense. It was like, oh, okay, huh. so I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, because literally like all that energy, you're trying to concentrate, but then you have so much energy. Your mind is here, there. But then once you get there and you've released all that excess energy that is not benefiting you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many Malayalis watch this. We call it palavida karingal, you know, just thoughts that really don't matter, stupid things. And so literally at that moment, it's all gone. And you're like at peace, right? And that's just the beginning stages, right? Because the next stage
is celebration. 15 minutes of celebration. That's the last 15 minutes from 45 to 60. Remember, it's an hour long. And now you're just celebrating. There's like beautiful music, different types of rhythms, and you just go all out. You can move around. You can be
dancing,
free,
just
like a kid. You're like
yeah,
a kid.
Exactly.
And when you were celebrating, what were you celebrating?
So I think I mentioned this to you. Like I literally felt like a kid again, but not because as we get older, we have things in society that we're taught and stuff like that. And when we're young, we're so innocent, right? That's why we love kids, because they're honest. They have they just whatever they have in them, they're giving to you, right? And it's not like they're trying to like play you or game you or whatever. They're just being who they are. And I was just able to just give it up. Like there was nothing holding me, right? Society's pressure, my parents' pressure, my friends' pressure, anything that I needed to keep up, it wasn't there. It was just free. And it was like, it was good, because it's not that I was like a kid, like I can like poke you, no, but the feeling of happiness. You know, people are like, oh, I want to be like as happy as a kid. Or
there was no stress.
Yeah.
There was no anxiety.
Nothing
no
mattered
panic.
Really. You
Nothing
know, like,
mattered.
Like and we created it. Like we weren't, you know, we didn't take LSD, or we weren't on Molly, or you know, the centers in our body, our brain, the hypothalamus,
yes,
the pituitary gland, everything, all these positive emotions, they were just running, they're flowing through our body. I also felt lighter too. So like just lighter on my feet and things like that, like because the tension that goes into my muscles, my musculature and things like that, they're just all really. So then when I was moving freely. It was just like, you know, how about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I felt like I could be myself, because a lot of the time, because of the stresses we have with work, school, we mentioned earlier, validating other people's expectations of us, there was no expectation, right? I mean, think about it. You have a blindfold on, you have earplugs. There's no expectation because there's no sensory stimuli. You can't hear anyone. No one's judging you. You know for a fact no one can see you. You can't see anyone else, so you can be yourself. Like during the celebration, I ended up like somewhere in the field somewhere, and I was like, oh, I'm over here.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting because when we started, it was dark outside, and then we finished, we opened our eyes, and it's light, and it's sunlight. And so it's an hour-long dynamic meditation. Now, of course, this may not be sustainable for a lot of you. So in a future video, we will be bringing you how to take dynamic meditation, shorten it to something that is very sustainable, only 6 minutes long, and how to target specific stresses, specific anxieties that will solve specific issues in your life. Do you want to tell us about your expertise in that?
So we're also, we only got 5 minutes, so we gotta
pack up,
moving. Yeah, we gotta get going.
Okay, so let's finish up. Then.
So what do we want to finish up with?
Just a takeaway.
Okay.
Quick takeaway, quick benefits, and then Sir Symmetry, Dr. Testosterone. See you next time.
All right. So hold on, give me a second.
I'll just ask you.
All right.
Yeah. So that is our take on dynamic meditation by Osho. We will be bringing you
Osho uncle.
Right. So that is our take on dynamic meditation, which was invented by Osho uncle to teach, especially the West, where the sit-down traditional meditation is hard. And so this is sort of a beginning to get in your body, to let go of all those imbalances, all those asymmetries, all those anxiety stresses, so later you can do the traditional meditation along with the dynamic meditation if you prefer. So that was a gift by Osho Uncle. So Osho Uncle, if you're watching right now, thank you very much for that gift. And we also want to do some takeaways, some takeaway benefits that you think that they should take from dynamic meditation, especially those that haven't experienced it. Why should they look into this? And if they can't do an hour, what do you recommend?
So the thing that I really took away with it, what helped me a lot, was me being able to concentrate. I was able to focus and give energy where it needed to be, instead of thinking about useless things, like literally, oh, well, I wonder how this person did this. And it wasn't anything like, how did this person take over the world? But how did they put on their right shoe? You know, there's these things that we think about that doesn't matter. And so I was able to literally, like, if I ever had a thought like that, I was just like, don't think about that. It doesn't matter. And I was able to channel that energy and be able to focus and basically hone in on what it is that I needed to do that was going to help me not only bring happiness to myself, but also give that happiness, that because I had so much at that point. It's abundant, right? And so, like, right now, like, we have all this knowledge, but if we keep it for ourselves, we're not benefiting anybody. We're here to share that with you guys. And so now,
Amazing.
it makes it easier to talk about these subjects and give you more information, the information that when I'm treating my patients, that I can make them feel better and things like that. So it's a wide variety, but that focus, the thing that was holding me back, because I was very on cloud 9, right? My mind was always somewhere else. So it was hard for me to get good grades, and it was hard for me to even pay attention in a class. And you know, one thing that about the School Center for Neurosomatic Studies is you have to pass with A's and B's. So it definitely helped me with that. So,
Got it. Now, there is also scientific research done on Osho's dynamic meditation, where they did a study where they interviewed people. They did psychological instruments and surveys for at the beginning, 7 days after, and then 12 days after to see the difference that dynamic meditation makes in someone's life. And what they figured out is in personal matters as well as corporate matters. So for example, like burnout rate in corporate life, or how much stress they have, how much negative or positive thinking they do in their personal life. They looked at all of these factors and they found that dynamic meditation made a significant difference, a significant improvement on a number of these factors. So if you would like to read that study, we're gonna link that in the description below too. Go check that out. That was published in the Athens Institute for Education and Research. So check that out too. And we will be bringing you more types of dynamic meditation. We did one where we had to be a lion. We did where we had to be a kid going, yes, 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 that kind of thing. We were running in one place. You mentioned gibberish earlier. So we're going to be bringing you all of these different types of dynamic meditation, what you can do at home, and how you can solve specific pain points. One of them, which will come very soon, we haven't talked about it yet, but it is something that's going to solve a lot of your problems. We're not going to talk about it now because we want you to be ready for it. Take this in now. Apply all of these strategies. In the future, we will give you a specific way to solve a very, very big problem that a lot of you are perhaps suffering from today. So watch out for that in a future video. This is Sir Symmetry. I am Doc Testosterone, and we will see you next time.
boom.
Signing off.